Okay, good afternoon all. Everyone is well. Sorry I'm a couple of minutes late. I just had a quick phone call out to deal with. So, overnight, not a lot really, just sideways. We had a couple of we had a move up initially, we had a drop down, and we've just been going sideways. So, got no news, I don't think. Let me just open that a minute. I'm pretty sure we haven't got no news. No, we haven't. We had some medium impact news at 1:30 UK time. Nothing. So, excuse me. Karina, good morning to you. Straight Lines Tattoo. How are you doing, bud? Okay, so I'm still waiting for my confirmation payment from Apex. Taking a bit of time. It'll be, well, I think it was the night before last, so it's been about 40, well, maybe a bit later. Maybe, I don't know, 40 hours, 30 hours. It can take a couple of days sometimes. But I'm not trading. There's no point really, because I thought I'd just take a bit because I haven't had anything for 3 months. But that's fine. I think these Traderfy accounts, I think I'm about 6 trades away. Well, 6 winning trades away from a 9,000, well, 10,000 they take. It's a 90-10 split. So ordinarily in the past, I'd be rushing trying to do it, but I've given up doing that anymore. It doesn't work. So I'm just playing the game. And then when it's $3,000, I take a payment. Nothing more, nothing less. So is that a little bit of a spike in channel? Maybe. Kind of fits quite nice, especially as it's hit that. So maybe it is, but overall we're just ranging. So going long into the top here is probably quite not the wisest thing to do. There is possibly, we've had a couple of bounces along there a couple of times. Who knows? So yesterday, did I take a trade? Yesterday I didn't actually, did I? Hey Jay, how you doing, buddy? No, I didn't take a trade yesterday. I took one the day before, 2.5 points the day before. Maybe this is coming down a bit further. Trouble is, if you get a channel with a break and a new low, I still got to be careful going long because it is very much sideways. So you don't know whether it's broke above these two bars and maybe it's back on its way down. So it's tough at the moment. Sean, good afternoon to you. Are you connected to Rhythmic on your Apex account? I've had some serious lag. I am connected to them. I'm not using Rhythmic at the moment because I've put a halt on my accounts while I get approved a payment. But yeah, it's opening okay as far as I know. But I've only got my Traderfy accounts hooked up at the moment. But I have had it hooked up. Well, I've got it hooked up now just to see if these payments are approved when I'm trading. At least then I can trade them. So it's okay with me. Someone else mentioned yesterday there was having some Rhythmic issues. I've got to say I hear much better things about Tradervate, but Ninja Trader are doing their own data, I believe. I've heard a few things around, so I'm not sure when, but it would be nice. The trouble is with once you start to get payments, you're going to have 20 accounts with Apex, 5 accounts with Traderfy, 5 accounts with Take Profit Trader, 5 accounts with My Fun of Futures, and there are a whole host of others that I've not really dabbled around with that you can. So potentially, you know, you could be talking 30, 40, 50 accounts even. But if you've got some on Rhythmic, some on Tradervate, it starts to get a bit complicated. You know, Tradervate I tend to just leave to its own devices, but I'm always watching Rhythmic, and occasionally an account or two doesn't close with Rhythmic. I have to do it manually. So hopefully if Ninja Trader's own data works. We may be able to trade everything, but what I do like about these prop companies, because they're all kind of competing with each other, it's only going to be better for us. But trading's stressful enough as it is. But if you've got 20, 30 accounts and you've got to keep an eye on different providers, it can get a little bit of no issues with Tradeovate. Yeah, I like Tradeovate. Unfortunately, my accounts with Apex are through Rhythmic, and you can't change them, I don't think. I'm pretty sure I've heard somebody ask that question. But, although Rhythmic doesn't tend to go down so much, I do find maybe an account or two doesn't close. Usually it's if I decide to get out of it quick. If it hits it naturally or hits profit or a stop, it's usually okay. It's when I decide to drop it in. So if you come out of it really quickly, Rhythmic tends to be a problem. The trouble is I don't keep an eye on Tradeovate. So I just trust the fact that everything is as it's supposed to be. Obviously, I keep a track of the amounts just to check that they're not moving. But try to sync Rhythmic to your PC clock. I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure how that works. There's probably a multitude of ways of doing these things. The trouble is, we don't always hear about them. I may get a phone call soon, which I've got to answer. It's just about my car that's in the garage. This car, so to speak. So we got a channel with a break and a new low, technically. Trouble is, going long gear would be going along right in the centre of all this. And my experience of that is it's risky because we could get a second leg down. Although I've got that... Daryl, how you doing, mate? Although I've got that possible spike in a channel up with the break, ordinarily you would be looking to go long. But the trouble is it's just as much sideways as it is up a little bit. So I wouldn't fully trust it. And what I don't want to do is go long here, triggers that bar there, and then we come down for a second leg to these lows. So I'm just sitting tight here. We haven't got a high low as yet anyway. So in fact, let me just have a look at, see if anybody's got this. Yeah, see, Dan hasn't at all. Oh yes, he has. Tell a lie. He's got more this, so more that type of thing, which we've got to break in a new high. So yeah, I wasn't a massive lover of it, in all honesty, but I think we can all agree we're clearly ranging at the moment, so we may get a leg and a leg. You never know, really. So looking at bookmap 06 and 07, there is orders up here. Short orders sat there, and there's a big chunk of orders. Buy orders around 93 to 96, which are down here below the overnight lows. So my guess is it may push up a touch higher before it comes down. Those orders they start around about 06, which is here, and go up to 0. So that's around about where they are, the middle of them. So it may go up, pick these shorts, and then come down for a second leg. Whether it gets up there or not, I don't know. But you can see some... We are kind of finding a little bit of support, resistance there. So who knows? My gut feeling, what I'm looking at, it probably will come down for a second leg. But what I don't want to do is take a short here. It triggers us and then comes up for a second leg, and we get two smaller legs, and it hits these shorts. Trouble is, if you do nothing, it just drops and you go, oh, I wish I'd have got in there. But if you do something and it triggers you and stops out. So while I can see those orders up there, I'll show you what I'm looking at. So they're round about 106 to 107, something like that, which is around about where that line is. So it's quite a nice bearish bar, but I'm still leaving things at the moment. If we get a lower high, that would be a better option. But what I am seeing is, as I've marked there, there's a lot of support. It's not a terrible bar, actually. Unfortunately, it's just a first entry. But if we get a lower high, that may be a different story. I mean, we're nearly at the lows anyway. You've got to have room to the lows, and there's barely a 3 ticks there. So you would expect it to come down. There's bound to be liquidity around these areas. So at the moment, I just don't really want to get into 13 ticks with just a first entry. But where it is in relation to that EMA, I think it's more likely going to work. Trouble is, gapped down a little bit, came back up. But we're probably going to see a leg and a leg down now. It is going to pick off bits of liquidity down here. There's bound to be some there, I would have thought. It's almost like a failure there. We are below that now anyway. There'll be some down there and here as well. Whether it gets to these areas, it should do. So, didn't come back and get those. So, I can see orders down here around about the 6 to 7 level, which is here. More or less at these lows and a few a little bit lower. Quite a chunk of orders. So I'm guessing people are going to be buying around this area. They're around about 6 where that is, and a little bit lower. So the lowest ones I can see are around about 92.5, which are below the overnight lows. So my guess is it'll tackle kind of this area. It'll kind of tackle that area there. A touch lower. I expect it to get into there and quite likely break the overnight lows. Whether it'll get down in one foul swoop or whether we'll get a pullback first, I don't know. But so let's just have a quick look back. So yesterday was generally all over a bullish day. Started a bit sideways, and then we had kind of 2 big pushes up, and then we ended up sideways with a couple of legs up. Where was the close here? A couple of legs up and a little pullback before the market closed. So it was generally a bullish day yesterday. I suspected it was, but if you look, mainly the last few days are just ranging up, down, and now we're at these tops, broke these tops. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a reasonable pullback. But the trouble is, while it's ranging, at some point it could decide to take off again. And as we are generally bullish, it may just range for a few days and decide to take off. So, but every day yesterday we did break all-time highs again. Day before we did. Day before that we didn't quite. But you never quite know. We may come down to this area again, or it may take off. Who knows? So we did get a small pullback, and then we're coming down again. So we're going to work into this area now. There'll be stops there, I don't doubt it. There as well. So I certainly expect it to get below that area. It'd be nice to see it break the lows. But there are buyers at 95 and 92.5, strong ones. 95 is below this, so I wouldn't be very easy to see 2 legs down, testing this and buy here. But there are strong orders at 95, which is down here. So that would stop me from getting into a long trade here. That's why I like Bookmap. It would have to at least hit that, really, but I would much prefer to see her come down to this level. Oh, excuse me. Okay, that's broken that level, and it's hit some of them buy yours now. There are more down at 2.5. I'd certainly, for me, it's more important that it gets below there, but we have got these levels here, so, or the thing could just drop. It's hard to say. Because we have been kind of ranging. We've broken above all this. We did the same kind of, we broke above here, and then we had a big pull back and then a move up. Same here, we broke above and then we had a big pull back followed by a move up. So while we've got strong buy orders at here, I wouldn't take that bull bar. There will be people that will, but it hasn't triggered, fortunately, I don't think. No, it hasn't. It hasn't on this chart anyway, but as soon as it crossed over, it ticked higher and then started to work back. So 92.5, which is around here. So it may get down as low as that, or it could push a bit lower. So there are bound to have been buyers there. 3 touches here, 2 legs down. Although it didn't trigger, some people don't wait for it to trigger like we do. A couple of bars side was a little double bottom, and then they buy in there, and the thing turns. Okay. Overnight highs have been broken. It's more important that that happens to me. I'm still quite not ready to buy then, because there are stronger orders down here. Not a huge amount, but enough. And if we, what I don't want to do is get into a long and get triggered and that type of scenario. So, Disco, how you doing, buddy? If we do find a long, it's going to have to be a higher low for me. So just because there are orders there doesn't necessarily mean they'll automatically hit them. But they tend to do more often than not. So, see, look at this 10,000 tick chart. We've had kind of 2 legs down there, haven't we? It's a bit easy to see. So we've had a leg down there, and a leg down there. We haven't quite hit that 2 legs back. So I bet on a bigger chart, we move up, a little bit of sideways, push up, a couple of attempts to go lower, and off we go again. Yeah, see, Thomas Wade has still got that channel there. 2 legs back. It actually looks okay, but I mean, we've had more than a pullback to consider it as a new high because of it. Now, the only way I think we'll make a new high is bouncing off support down here. Those orders are still there, and this looks like it may be quite a strong move up. But we're into this area. We're actually right into the center of this box that I drew. But once it gets so far up, I think those orders will disappear temporarily. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see if this does come back. I certainly wouldn't take a short here at the moment. That's quite a relatively strong move, although we've halted right there, but it can get you into it. That has gone low enough, and it's gone below the lows for me to not think about shorting. because at the moment we're arranging, that's broken the lows and it's got quite a strong move up. So my gut instinct is probably going to push up. So a short here, the way things are looking at the moment, is a non-starter, but you never know. It may just come rushing down. Those orders there may be destined to be filled. Who knows? I haven't set. That's silly. Get into a trade and I end up taking a sim. Let me just check everything's working as it should.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order cancelled. Order submitted. Order cancelled.
Okay, now that's interesting. So there's a bearish bar there and it's triggered and pushed up. So my gut feeling, this looks like it's likely to push up, but you never know. You may jump in here and it may give you a lower high and come down. So channel looks like a break and a new high. So there's a lower high here. So there you go. So write down and pick those orders up. So yeah, that's the trouble. 1 minute it looks like it's moving up. I wouldn't have gone long and I wouldn't have gone short there, but it came down there, hit that measured move and picked up all those orders. You can see all those orders are all gone now. They were down here around about 2.5 and below. They're still a bit down here now, but a lot of, you can see all those orders just got mushed, just got picked up. So although we got 3 bounces and there's a good chance it might go up, you just never know. Once it pushed up, see, I wasn't so sure that it was going to get down here, but all of a sudden down it came. The trouble is you may not have got in there. It crossed over and it dropped that damn quick anyway. So, yeah, no fill for me. So lost too fast. Yeah, it moved too quick. I mean, it just literally crossed over and down it came quick. Let me just see if somebody mentioned that. If the larger trend is valid, it will. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad, actually, does it? So, trouble is, because we've gone ranging, because we've been ranging, I find it hard to think about taking shorts at the bottom of a range. Just purely and simply because we've been going up and down, and the bias, I think, when we get down here is up. But because we've only had a limited amount of price action overnight, it's more or less just gone sideways. And so until we get a breakout and a retest these lows, I kind of wouldn't want to short. I certainly wouldn't be comfortable shorting there because we've broken the lows. We've clearly been ranging and we've pushed up strong. So you don't know whether it's going to trigger you and move another leg up. So I'm just a bit on the fence. I mean, even if I wanted to get into that anyway, it moved that quick. So, you know, until I believe we're going down, I mean, I like what it's doing there. I'd like to test this level here. So, good reason not to buy in there. I mean, even if you had a bought there, you'd have probably been out anyway, but just with those orders down there, that's why I like Bookmap, because it does keep me keeps me out of trades where there might be a considerable amount of smarter traders than me with buy orders right below where I am. It's actually fitting quite nice there. Whether it will continue to or not, I don't know. So let's adjust this now. Let's put that there. So leg down and another possible leg down. As I say, looking at the last few days, it's just been going up, down, up, down. So my gut feeling yesterday, we were going to have a bullish day, test these highs, exactly what we did. We broke the highs. Now what are we going to do? If we're just ranging, chances are it's going to work its way down. That's if it continues with this just ranging over the last few days. We had that move up and then down, up, down, up, down, up. So as we're up the top, the natural sort of course of action you would be to push down and with what we've had so far, that looks like it may happen. There is a level down here, which is at that measured move. So, okay, and there's an overshoot. So let's get this accurate so we can find out. There's a tiny touch. So we're going to tick off that measured move. And a small overshoot. I'm not convinced that bar might. Yeah, see, that bar's within this line, so I'm not convinced that is an overshoot. With a different bar, it could be. I don't know. Let's just check it fits as good here. It may be an overshoot. I'm not super convinced it is. We'll see. I mean, as we've made that measured move all bar a tick, I'd expect the correction anyway. Little Hammer, how you doing, bud? Yeah, there is levels down here as well, a couple of bounces, so let's see what happens here. If we can get a nice correction, we may still find a way down. So, yeah, possible overshoot. It doesn't mean it won't continue down. It just may have a slightly steeper correction. See, looking at the moment, the strongest orders I can see are down around about 82 to 85. There's not as stronger orders up there. There's larger orders down there. As we know, price moves to liquidity. So this is only part of the picture. Now, I think there's a good chance we come down, but if all of a sudden we get big aggressive buyers come in, that shift can change. But just what I can see, this thing is slowly coming down. So those orders are between 82 and 85. So that gives me a little bit of a guideline where I think prices may come down to. What did I say? 82 to 85. So 82's here and 85's about there. So funnily enough, it clears this as well. So maybe we continue down with another bigger correction. Who knows? So that's where I can see strong orders. It's actually 2.5, so it's a couple of ticks higher than that. So now there is an overshoot. We may get a steeper correction, and that would come and test this area here. If it does, or it may just come straight down. I don't know. I wouldn't want to drop into a trade here straight away anyway, just because of that overshoot. So it may just turn and decide to push up, in which case that bar is vulnerable. But then all of a sudden we had that, didn't we? And then all of a sudden it tanked. So we may get something like that. And funnily enough, where's it going to test the lows here? And if we get that leg down with a correction, we may get a second leg down. So it could be an interesting day, this. Okay. There's not really much you can do there, unfortunately. It's only really a first entry, isn't it? You never quite know. Because of that overshoot, I'm always aware that just be careful of that first offer. There wasn't a decent offer there anyway. But because of the overshoot, sometimes it'll trigger you and then have a break. And funnily enough, if we did have a break, may come up and test this area, which I kind of would have thought it may have done, but market it's got other ideas. As I say, the only real strong orders I can see are down. So when you've been looking at this the last few days, I just think the natural thought process would be bearish just at the moment. Certainly for the next 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 30, 40 points, something like that. Okay, it's picked some of those orders up. There is more down just above this low here. Those orders have been yanked, or have they been it? No, they've been yanked. That's a bit sly. So those orders there that never got hit just disappeared. They may have got moved further down, to be honest with you. But there's a big load of orders there, 860 orders, 66 orders. I don't know, that's contracts, probably just orders, which is 80, and that's down there. So 80 and a touch above, so around about their area. Now that, I think that stuff does go on, doesn't it? Where they have orders down there and all of a sudden they get yanked. Would you really want to buy down here? Okay, so I'm going to assume that's not really no. Mind you, sometimes with an overshoot, it'll pull back, drop down, make a new low and reverse. I'm not super convinced it is. This could be adjusted to there, in which case it fits. Trouble is, we're at the bottom here, we pull back, we're at the bottom there, we pull back. If this is valid, we didn't quite get to the lows. Now, when that happens, I often expect a break. Clearly see it's coming away from the bottom. It's not keeping tight. That's if this order is, this line is valid. I've got the best of both worlds at the moment, so I've got this on the left, in which case we're still right here. But my gut feeling is we have a break here. So let me just put it back where it was just at the moment. Yeah, see, it still looks like a little break there. I think it's a small break. So it looks like a little micro with a break. We need a little bit more of a break of this, really, I think. Come on, have a quick push up. Russell, good morning to you, mate. The pitch 001. I think you're a new face. How you doing? Sorry, I didn't see it there. I'd like a little push higher. I don't know. I was expecting that there, and the thing just dropped. But we are coming away from that bottom. So usually when that happens, we get a break. And there we go. So my experience of this, the bigger the channel, the bigger the break. But it's not always the case. I certainly like it to sort of, I mean, you'd expect a break to clear out some of these lower areas. So my gut feeling is it's probably going to break there. It may come up a little bit higher, or it may come up and test this area down here. So it's hard to say. Or there is an overshoot and this is reversing. So I'm going to leave the overshoot there. I used to, my practice was that if I had an overshoot, I would assume it was and give it a little bit of space here. So there could be a larger channel up here. It's always possible. But just at the moment, I'm just keeping this little micro one here. I'm not assuming it's pushing up until we have a fair amount of chance of this coming down and testing the lows. So channel break new high. I still wouldn't take a short here because of these areas here. I'd like to see these areas get cleared out. But is it going to do? You don't know. I was expecting, because of the overshoot, something there, and it just dropped. So it depends how bearish it is. If it's really bearish, it just, people may just be jumping straight on short. There is a larger amount of aggressive shorts at the moment, or there was up here. Yeah, there is a few more aggressive sellers here. So it may just come straight down. Someone's in a trade here. I didn't like this because it's so close to this liquidity. You may argue it's a triple test. That actually doesn't look too bad. But the trouble is, because of the size of the channel, it's a very small break. Now, when you've got areas of liquidity here, and possibility of the overnight lows tested, it may go a bit higher, but you just never know. Perhaps I get a little bit paranoid sometimes, but I've taken trades like these before. It's triggered me. It's gone up, cleared liquidity, and dropped like a stone. So I'm just not super sure. Funny enough, Dan just said didn't even notice it was a triple test. I didn't either. I had mine here, and then I noticed this, that, and that. This isn't coming down as strong as that did. So perhaps it's not finished yet. So on here, there is a lower high. Trouble is, it's a little bit congested here. That didn't get very far before we had this pullback. So there's something about this that's making me nervous. You may argue it's a lower high, but I'm just not super stoked about this. I'm kicking myself. I skipped the second entry short, but then I saw it was also a triple test. Yeah, I didn't notice that. Dan just mentioned it as well. Yeah, he just said he didn't even notice the triple test. Oh, he did take it as a second entry short. Yeah, it's just a little bit congested now, so it's triggered that lower high. Let's see what happens. It may still come down. It's tempting, but there is 3 bars completely sideways here. Now, that might not necessarily mean nothing, but as Max says, three or more bars side by side. Now we got 4 bars side by side. Is this a double trap? Are we going to trigger the long and then come down? I'll be surprised if we don't take out the lower high. So if you missed that and took the lower high, you just got stitched. Something about this I don't like. It's not much of a break after such a big channel. Now, Dan only goes for 6 ticks, so there's probably enough space to the lows. So if he gets in here, sorry, so 6 ticks, so he would have got out about there, and all of a sudden it's turned. To have such a little break like that and then just a drop after such a big channel down doesn't often happen. So whenever I see a small break and it's starting to work down, I'm automatically suspicious. So now you may call this a triple test. 1, 2, 3. It's just something I don't like. It didn't close below the EMA. It's still stacked up. It may still come down, but for me, I'm just biding me time at the moment because it is such a small break. Maybe that's a little bit more of a break, but I'm still not quite ready to go short yet. Not only that, this bar's 14 ticks, tick above, tick below. It's too much risk, that is, considering the EMA is almost as flat as a pancake. Straight away, the lower highs got triggered and stopped out, so you just got to be a bit careful around here. Speedy, how you doing, mate? Yeah, see, this bar here never triggered anyway, so wouldn't be shocked if we did this. Something like that, which would clear out all this and test this these lows here, the overnight, a second leg up there more or less targets these overnight lows. With such a big channel down, I'd expect more than just that and that, but what do I know? Now there is a possible lower high. This may come down. I just don't like this. It's just stacked up. It's congested. It may work, but I'm just not a fan just at the moment. Doesn't bother me whether it works or not. If it doesn't feel right, I just leave it. Simple. Took it on a chart with the MES, much clearer. Yeah. See how we've got two little legs here, so it may push up. That overshoot, we'll do that a lot. After an overshoot, we'll pull back, go down, make a lone reverse. So perhaps this is two legs up, two legs back, and then up it flies. Who knows? But we've had a break and made two attempts to go lower. So if that finishes bullish above that EMA, that may be a penguin kind of style trade. Who knows? Or maybe there's something like that, and down it comes. That doesn't actually look terrible, does it? See on here, there was no bar. On this side, there was a bigger bar. There was a bar, but I don't like the way it pulled back above that EMA. EMA's flat. It's clearly congested, and it was 13 ticks. Yeah, so I had no bar on there. There I did. Trouble is, pushed up, touched it, and then dropped. Trouble is then, I'd prefer my triple test with that a little bit higher, preferably clearing out this liquidity. It's a bit congested there, and that's what worries me a little bit. So that's fine. I'm okay. We did have a lower high, but we're range. It's a small little sideways there. There's not much room to the lows there. So with such a small break, that made me nervous. I've got involved with them before, and it pushes up for a second leg. But there you go. Some you win, some you lose, some you miss. I'm okay missing them. So that went right down and bounced off that 80 order. Yeah, see, Thomas Wade marked that as a lower high. I wonder if he took it. That's what I mean. Such a small break just to come down. We did have another leg up. So we had a small break, 2 attempts to push higher. I'd have just preferred to clear this liquidity out so often we do, and it didn't. So that's what made me nervous. And then on this side, we got that bar there. It's a bit congested, so it just makes me a little bit. We just dropped that wick and we pulled back above that EMA, and the EMA is flat, so you don't know whether it's just going to push up again and clear this liquidity out. But then we did have a lower high. That's fair enough. But then we got no room out below this, so who knows? Channel down there. We've broken the lows anyway. That one, I considered that one. There's a couple of points to the lows. So I would have got in there. So I easily go for 3. It's got pushed down. It did win in the end, but most of this is done for me on that. But there you go. It's one of those things, isn't it? I just didn't have a great bar here. There was 2 legs up, but the fact that that didn't trigger above there makes me nervous. I've taken them before, and it triggers you, pushes up, makes 2 legs up there, and then works its way down. But there you go. Trouble is, you don't have a lot of time to think. You've got to make decisions, and I think if something doesn't feel right, I tend to go on feel. Now, that may keep me out of a few more trades than's necessary, but It kind of is what it is, isn't it? Well, don't get me wrong, if I was trading the valuation, I would have done. So, big orders a little bit lower now, down at 77. So I think this thing's probably going to come. There is still some at 80. Right there. But there's more down at 6777, which is down here. Seven fifty. There. If you call that a correction, we may get another leg down. I wouldn't be surprised if we did. Let's see if there's any type of a channel here. I have messed around with it, but hard to say. Yeah, see, Dan took that one there. That one there, I left it because it was just such a small break. He didn't take anything else. He didn't take that one. See, looking on my chart, there was that one, but then we had that bit of congestion. So it's one of those things, isn't it? Okay, that's cleared them orders. There is more further down, so I think by the look of these things, by the look at this, it's likely going to come down to this levels down here. So obviously we're going to likely get the pullback, but it's coming down at the same rate of knots that this did, and then it just dropped all of a sudden. So, you know, let's see. I wonder if it'll turn out to be something like that. You never know. Okay, excuse me a minute. Certainly starting to look like a very bearish day. Now, I wonder if we get this, or we get a really strong move down. It's starting to look like that. Okay, let's see if we can find a channel there. That doesn't look too bad. We can get a second entry. It may not. It may not. Sometimes if it's that bearish, it barely gets to here, let alone, and then just turns. Come on, another push up. Yeah, I just have a feeling this is just going to come down. So let's put that somewhere there and bring that down to there. So leg down with a correction. I think there's a good chance we get down to this area. Yeah, that's the trouble. When it's that bearish, it just barely gets out before it starts to drop again. It doesn't get anywhere near the top of the channel or the EMA. Trouble is, you can't. There's nothing you can do there, really. Sam Smith, how you doing? I'm all right, bud. I'm okie dokie. More or less doing the same thing as this. Come on, get a push up. That's frustrating. Did the same there. Small break. Bull bar, bear bar, straight down. Bull bar, bear bar, straight down. Trouble is, you can't just break your rules because you think it's this and jump in, because I guarantee you the time you do that, it'll stitch you up. I've learnt the hard way over time. You just have to wait for a setup if you don't get it. We didn't even get near the top or the EMA there, so there is nothing you can do. I've given up worrying about it because there's nothing you can do. All the worrying and stress in the world can't change how the markets operate. We don't really have much of a say in that. Just got to wait for a setup and take it, and if you do that, good things happen. Okay, now I have a feeling we may get a break here. Now it's just a feeling. Now, based on what I'm seeing here anyway, sorry, that's the one. Because we're doing this, we're coming away from this bottom line. That's if this is valid at all. I actually think it is, because there's 3 touches there, touch there, touch there. Looks all right to me, so. Beach bum, how you doing, bud? Yeah, it really doesn't work. You'll get away with it once or twice, but you'll get stitched more often than not. See, that is a first entry. Now, it's very tempting to take that, and it may well work. It's that bearish. But because we're coming away from the bottom here, it's only a first entry, because that's what I mean. The one time you decide to do something like that, it'll trigger you and stitch you up. Now, it's that bearish, it probably won't, but the way I've got this channel, it does look like a small break, and the tendency is it's that bearish just to jump in. Trouble is, you do nothing and it keeps coming down. The second you get in, market's got a way of stitching you up. It really has. So I've given up now. I just don't do it anymore. Yeah, see, someone else is looking at that as a small break. But guaranteed, you do nothing and it'll drop. The second you get in, it'll just turn. It's uncanny how it works. But it is only a first entry. But one, it's a first entry, so we can't really take it. But when it's such a bearish move down, and you'll think to yourself, God, I can't find a bloody trade. Oh, let's go long, let's go short here. And all of a sudden it stitches you. You'll see this whole move down, and all of a sudden, the one time you get in, it just goes against you. It's uncanny how it works. So it is only a first entry. You can't really consider it a triple test. That's not really. It's just a move down there. There's 1, there's 2. So it's coming away from the bottom just a touch. So that may mean it's losing a little bit of momentum. We may get a break. And there's always a possibility if we have a break and get up here, there may end up being something like this. That doesn't fit too bad. And when you decide to get in, market decides to come up to its new downtrend. So the trouble is, these, when Mac marks this at the end of the day, it's easy because I can, if it bounces here 3 times, I can tell you to go short there. But when you don't have that, because that's not valid at the moment, there's nothing you can do. Markets are kind of ever evolving, and you just have to kind of adjust and adapt. I do think we'll get this measured move, but whether we get a little bit of sideways first, who knows? But yeah, unfortunately, we only have half the picture. It's like having half the map, and you've got to try and figure out where you're going. Now, I go for 3 points anyway, so that wouldn't have worked for me. There is enough to the, well, there's not enough to the lows, but judging by what I'm seeing, it's probably going to come down. But, you know, sometimes at the end of the day, you'll think, wow, that was a bearish day. Why didn't I get in? But you don't really know it's bearish until it's kind of happened. And then when you decide it's bearish enough to jump in there, it triggers you and decides to do something else. I mean, it is pretty strong, isn't it? It's come down nice and strong. But that's just the thing. Unfortunately, you got to just sit and see these go by. Yeah, see what I mean? Someone's mentioned that as a triple test. Dan's got not a triple test. You can't really count that. It's just a move down. Some people might decide to just drop a line over here. What I find is when you're inexperienced, you talk yourself into trades. You think, oh, there we go. Look, 1, 2, 3. It's not. It's just that move down, really. And then we come up and test it twice. And there is 2 attempts to push higher. And in some cases, some traders will take that. But from a Pat's point of view, you can't take it, really. It's a second entry. Mac may mark it as a green entry, a risky entry, just because it's so bearish, because it is 2 attempts to push higher. But I don't even bother thinking about them anymore. I just let it go. You won't get away with it all the time. You've just got to be a good boy or a good girl and just, you know, play the game. Once you start, you know, adjusting things, adjusting the rules and trying to cheat, market bends you over and gives you a good shafting, and none of us like that, do we? Well, there's probably some out there that may. I wish they hurry up and approve my payout so I can trade those damn accounts. So, small break, 2 pushes to a new low. We're getting another break now. So maybe that's done what it's supposed to do. I just think we need a bigger correction down here. I think there's a good chance we end up maybe doing something like this. If you look at the bottoms, it actually, but until we kind of touch it a few times, you can't really trust it, I don't think. I'll tell you what I will do, just out of curiosity, is just put a line there, and if we do get some reaction here, we'll take that across. I really love to listen to you, Lance. Thanks, mate. You make me feel relaxed. Lots of good insights and beautiful soul. Thank you, mate. That's a nice thing to say. Is there any sound? Well, little Hammer's certainly hearing me, so it may be you, bud. To be honest with you, if I was sat by myself, I'd probably be still talking to myself. Oh, it was you, is it? I have got a habit of thinking out aloud. Sometimes if I decide to go out for a walk into town, sometimes I will be kind of chatting with myself. If something's on my mind, and sometimes you'll see someone walk past with a grin on their face, thinking he's a nutter. But I think out aloud. It's just part of my process. I know some people say you shouldn't be talking and trading, but I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm drawing this channel. I can see exactly what's going on. And it's kind of like driving. The driving bit kind of happens in the background. But it does help me, and if it helps you, it's win-win. What does that look like? It's hard to say at the moment. There's that many bits of possibilities. And the further we get down, the more suspicious suspicious of taking shorts I get, really. I know you shouldn't look about it. Sometimes I miss some of these because, yeah, see, I find when I think about things, I listen to myself, but when I talk out aloud, I hear it. You know what I mean? It does help me make better decisions. Sometimes you can be listening to someone, but not really hearing them. We all do that thing, don't we? I don't know how many times I do it with my wife if I'm talking to her about something and I go, "You're not listening to a word I'm saying, am I?" She goes, "Yeah, of course I am." I said, "Well, what did I say then?" I don't know. It is all psychology, yeah. Whatever makes you feel better and works is a winning way of doing things. So, is that line now coming into place? That's interesting, that is. That's the type of trade I'd take in the past if this finishes bearish. But because we've had a small break and 2 pushes to a new low, you might have to give this a bit of space. Trouble is, I put that line there just out of curiosity, but it could be slightly different. It may be there and there, so this may still come into play, but at the moment, I'm not so sure. So that's interesting, big bearish bar. So let's see where this goes. It's cleared out there, there, and there. I wouldn't take this at the moment, though. These 2 legs are a bit tight. If they were a little bit like that, further apart, you couldn't really get them confused with a trend channel. And that, to me, could be a trend channel. If those 2 legs of broad are really far apart, less chance of getting caught in a trend channel. And when we get something like that, I'd expect that to work. So I just prefer those a little bit further. The further away they are, side by side, the much safer they are. Yeah, I mean, you can listen to music. I suggest not sitting in complete silence. Some people it might work for. But I like a bit of something. I'm okay with listening to myself. I'm not the most interesting person to listen to, but it works for me okay. I do tend to repeat myself a lot. So I'm just wondering whether with such this big move down, we need some kind of a sizey correction. I can't see this thing pushing all the way down. If you look there, we had that initial strong move, and then we had a fair correction before it came down again. So just looking at the last few days, this is the top of a range, isn't it? We've actually broken out and failed. We've had 2 legs down. I can't see that continuing down there without having some kind of a correction. So this just may be part of that, but there are no guarantees. So things do look like they've changed for me, whereas a lot of these orders on Bookmap were lower down. Now they seem to have shifted a bit and starting to pull us up now. That takes us up to about 84-ish, which is here. So we may just have two legs and this may come down. I can't see a huge amount further up, but just temporarily it does look like we're drifting to these areas, and usually that's how things go. So I wouldn't, automatically jump in along and think we're definitely going to hit these levels, because it doesn't always, but it does give us a bit of a guideline, this, of where things could go. Let's see if this pushes up or has a break. When I mentioned those wider legs, we could, because of the size of the move down, we could end up doing something like that, which would get us up to kind of these shorts up here. Now there's no guarantees, of course, but probably bring it this way a bit. But I'd like to see maybe a little bit of sideways and then up for a second leg. I'd still like to see this thing continue down a bit more. We've not necessarily hit any kind of levels of significance. But because we've had such a big move down, I'd like to see a correction. If we can get a leg down with a correction, we may get a second leg down. We may end up down here by later in the day. But that's just a rough guess. Usually when you're ranging and you come off the tops, normally it's the next place you go with the lows, and we're kind of just going sideways over the last few days. In fact, let's have a look at the daily. I'm guessing the last sort of 3 or 4 days are mainly just sideways. Yeah, they are. So we've had these two pushes up, and then we got kind of 1, 2, 3. So the last 4 days at the moment, really, we go up, we come down, we go up. Where do we go? The fact that we've triggered across that, just get rid of that. The fact that we've triggered across that bull bar, my guess is going to break below there, which is going to get us to these lows. So we crossed over, we pushed up, we came down, we pushed up, we came down, up, down. So it makes sense at the moment that this is likely that it's going to happen. But we've, we're really been bullish at the moment, haven't we? I mean, that's from July. These were the great place to buy down here for an investor. These were the tariffs. We're going to push down, a couple of legs back, another push down. Great place to buy. You'd have captured a great move. But I mean, that's where we were. But if you think that was kind of mid-April, May, June, July, 3 months later, we're at all-time highs. So what a great move if you want to capture a run. Think about the S&P 500 and that. Such a good thing to invest in. Whenever we do get a big drop for any reason, it recovers so much because people just buy. Because it's a great place to buy, because this will recover. And it's surprisingly how quick it recovered. But if you did manage to get in down here, I mean, you could have captured yourself a really big, strong move there. But this thing's, nice and strong at the moment. I've got most of my pension in this, actually, to be honest with you. But it's a great thing to invest in this. The S&P 500 is. So, yeah, my guess is there's a chance this is going to continue down, but nothing is set in stone. Kirk, how you doing, buddy? The big measured move is at yesterday's open. We're at 11 a.m. New York. Very good place to make the final run up to yesterday's open. Yesterday's open, which was yesterday's open. Hang on about, yeah. You just never know, do you? But after this move down, my guess is it's probably going to come down here. But you never know. 6766. So there may be a small break there. The way that's going up, though, it's hard to say. Time is it? Hour and a half. I've been going an hour and a half. I'm just going to take a quick break. Just make a quick drink. I might like coffee actually. I'm out of whiskey. And I'll be back. So I'm just going to put that on there so you know where I am. So I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes, and I'll be back. Okay, channel break, new high. Are we now going to come down, test these lows, or push down further? Who knows? I can adjust that. It's still a break. Certainly a break here. There's no argument. Doesn't look too bad. Anywho, we've had a break. Whether it's small here, 2 pushes again. Definitely a break, I think. Whereas we've had a break, an attempt at a new low, so I don't think I would be comfortable taking a second entry long here. Trouble is, you could argue we've already had a break and 2 pushes to a new high. So, I'm leaving it just at the minute because of this such a big move down. I guarantee someone will take it though, but it may work. But I think there's already a break and a new high, so I'm just on the fence here. I mean, you could get back in it if you wanted to. Gone up that much. How far has it gone up? So you'd have got 1.25 so far. It looks like a small break and a new high, and sometimes that would trap you. So did I make the right decision? Not only that, it looks like it's ranging now, doesn't it? No, it's looking like a higher low here. Trouble is, looks like it's ranging. It's just not enough room to the highs for me, really. If I go a tick above it, it's got to tick through. There's a 1.75. In fact, no, there's a 1.5 because it's got to push through. So, trouble is, if you took that there, tick above it, see, Dan took it apparently. So if you took it a tick above there, you might not even be out. Now it's congested, so Okay, so it didn't go up. Trouble is, once it starts to go sideways and comes back down here, I got to reset it. Yeah. Yeah, see, I go for 3 points, so just to the highs. If you go a tick above there, there's 2 points, so it's a 1.75 really. So it's just, well, it's one of those things. And you may argue there's already a break, so it's just one of those things, isn't it? Man, that was stressful. See, Marco got in it and didn't get out, so it came back. You just said that was stressful. Trouble is, you ain't got a lot of room to the eyes. When you get that little double top and it comes back, you think you're out then. You think we're going to get up, do you? You never know, do you? You're not getting the setup you want, patience. That's the key, isn't it? It took me a long time to get patience. It's one of my strongest attributes now, but it was one of my weakest ones when I started. I don't know how many times I sat there, pat myself on the back because I hadn't done nothing for 3 hours, and 2 minutes before I finished the stream, took a stupid ass trade because the patience went. So it's weird, isn't it, Alf, that you kind of where your strengths and weaknesses are and not where I thought they would be. Yeah, Marco went for 2 points. So it actually came back. It actually came back, I think. Yeah, it came back. It touched the 2 points, but it never triggered through, and then it came back. That's stressful. That is stressful. I got to say, when it bounces off your order, especially twice and then comes back, you think you're out. Especially when you realise it's starting to go sideways now, and it may just do that. Trouble is, if I tend to follow what Dan will usually do, and he'll touch here, touch there. There is a small break there, and you just never know what's going to happen here. So, see, if I look at Marco's chart, see, he's got exactly the same, a small break. Now, often if you take a second entry long after a small break, I remember I was in a trade once. I'd taken it, and Dan messaged me on Facebook Messenger and said, we've already had a break at a new high, so I cancelled the trade. Turns out it would have come against me, so I actually reduced my losses. But when you have a small break like that, sometimes it'd trap longs here and take them out. Now, I know there's a lot of ifs and buts. Sometimes these things will work, sometimes they won't for a minute. But what I will say about this trade there, even if we've had a break 2 pushes to a new high, if it's a strong enough position, sometimes it will still work. It'll take time. But what I will say in relation to that EMA, that's a strong bar. The only issue is I have to, kind of work out, have I got enough to the highs? So a tick above there, I go for 3 points. Now, I will get out a little bit less, but for me, with that break, do I really want to go for a 1.5, or do I want to try and keep it safe? Because I'd have to get up here. It would have to get to there for me. Now, okay, you might say, but because we've had this little break, that is a little bit of a precaution for me. I thought I made the right decision when this came back, but it just managed to hold and turn there. But there you go. It's one of those things, isn't it? I don't mind missing trades, and I probably miss more than I probably should. But my mindset at the moment is quite strict, and I'd rather be overcautious than careless. So it's a bit slow, but it's working for me as it is. So I think you just have to kind of go with what works for you. And I suppose as my account sizes grow, you don't, stress so much over them. You've got way more than a buffer than you need. So you can maybe afford to think, okay, well, I'm going to wait in here and see what happens. But so we could get a second entry longy, and this may continue up. It's hard to say, really. We could have something like that. It's hard to say. Maybe trapping some shorts in here, thinking we're going short now, and then off we drop. But it's a tough one, isn't it? So if I look on this one, there's a second entry possible long now. So we may trap shorts, but I'm just not sure at the moment. There may be something like that. It's a little bit too early. After we've had the break, we've had 2 pushes up to a new high. So I think you need to give this a little bit of space just to see if it wants to push up. Yeah, I'm still not super convinced this thing decides to come down and test these lows again. I can see a chunk of orders around about the 77, which is up here. So, but what I will say is I can't necessarily... I mean, there's still maybe some kind of a wider channel like that, and then maybe this is a break, and eventually it's going to find its way down. It could do. It's not pushing up very strong for me, so I'd have to say I'm a bit on the fence as to what I think's going on. It's not pushing up as strong as I thought, as I expect a sort of a reversal pattern does, but you never know, do you? So I can't go long here just in case this thing decides to do that. Channel break, 2 legs down, 2 legs up to a new high. It may come down a bit. So let's put this aside for the moment. That channel there has played out. Whether you like that or not is irrelevant. We've got 2 legs down, 2 legs up to a new high. So I wouldn't automatically jump in long here in case this does come down. That often happens. So there was a second entry long on this side, but the bars a tick off a doji. It's no good, really. And as I say, often that'll do you. People think this is going longer. They'll jump in there, and now we'll come back. A little bit of range, break out the top, break out the bottom. There's a failure here. Trouble is, we're already at the lows. It's a big bar. We're 2 ticks away from the lows. So if the failure ended here, and I assume it was going to clear this out, then I may have a go at it. But so if you did take that second entry long, it didn't work. That was there was a second entry long there. It may have looked a bit different. I wouldn't be surprised if a couple got caught. But as it's played out, you just got to give it a little bit of space. I was tempted with that. Trouble is, you got to be out before the lows. There's 3 ticks at a push there. You don't know it's going to do this. You know about there, yeah. See, trouble is, you get that breakout pullback. It breaks out. Traders trade it short. Then you get a bull bar, pushes up, stops them out, but it didn't. That trap any longs there, really. So if you made it, so we've pushed out, we've come back, we've retested the top. And now this thing may continue on up. As I say, I'm not convinced it's not going to come down and test these lows again. As I said, there is orders down there at 77 or 77.50-ish, thereabouts. Yeah, 70, around about there, which may clear out some of this. But, you know, with this such a big move down, I'm still not convinced. We do, you know, something like that, maybe a bit of sideways, and then we continue down. It's hard to say. But just what I'm looking at over the last bunch of days. Can't I go back any further? How many days have I got loaded? Should be that should be 7. This thing changes day by day. Okay, so really we're just ranging at the moment, up, down, up, down, up, down. So as we've come off the tops and broken out the tops, that failed. So I'd expect it to come down. We did there. We had a bit of a correction. A little bit, not quite as steep as the one we've got now. Yeah, there's a couple of shorts in there. Someone took the failure. Trouble is, this is clearly going a bit sideways here, and you're shorting right into where we've bounced. Yeah, there is more appearing down here now. So this, you know, we still could go down. I'm not convinced we won't. You can see that support along there. Bounced twice on there. So if we can push down a bit and then maybe get a second entry short, come back and retest this, we may get something down. Okay. That's picking up these orders. That's why I like Bookmap, because it does give you these areas, and often we didn't go that far before we had a break. Often these will get filled. As we know, price moves towards liquidity. You can clearly see there's larger aggressive sell orders at the moment pushing this thing down, and you can see there's still more down here that are popping up. There's less up here, so this is telling me this thing is getting drawn down. Strong down here at 755, which is right down low. As I say, this is looking like a bearish day for me. So there are more orders down here at 755, which is all the way down here. So there's a good chunk. This thing could come down. I'd still expect another little correction, or maybe test this and then push down some more. But as I say, if you just look based on the remainder of the days, we're just in a bigger overall range. And as we know, they tend to go from top to bottom, so I wouldn't be shocked. Look where that comes down to, kind of where you'd expect it. And in fact, that can come down a touch. So look, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? I wouldn't expect just that and then straight down. I'd like to see maybe a retest of this area. So let's put that right at the bottom. Let's put that right where it should be. Let's make sure everything's where it should. And that right there, I think. Let's see where this comes to. Look at that. Is that complete luck? I'd say no. That a measured leg down from there would take us right to these lows. In fact, it would take a tick below. So we've got 2 bounces there. So is it complete luck? I'd say no. These things move like sort of religiously, really. Obviously, there's a lot of noise involved for one reason or another, but you never know. So I think it's good to be aware of these levels where it could get to, and it's surprising that it does. 55 is where I can see those orders. So if there is traders running this down, they may think, let's buy right the way down here. But those orders could get yanked. Who knows? So I didn't think this would get very far before at least attempted to test this area. So I like this channel. The trouble is you could put it like that, in which case we've had a small break. But that's okay. I'd like it to test this area here and then show us a nice strong second entry short for a second leg down to test the lows. And then if we can get below there, who knows where things may go. So we've definitely got a little break there. So there are sell orders about 81, which is up here, which is right about where I'd like to test this area. So it does get a show. I am thinking along the right lines. See these orders, these sell orders here. There, so not 81, my mistake. More like about 79, so around about there. We didn't get anywhere near. We had a small break straight down. So we're coming down here. There are orders down here at 70, which is there. So channel with a break straight down. Nothing stopping that. So right down to that area, picked up them orders there. There's more orders down here and down here. Let's see if we get a bounce here. So it's doing what I expected it to. My gut feeling is it's still going to go lower. But who knows whether we're going to get a couple of legs up or maybe the same thing, maybe kind of a little bit sideways for a bit. If you look left and right, see this area there and there. So it may do that for a little bit, maybe one attempt, two attempt, and then second down. Who knows? So many ifs and buts. The orders are still there, so we'll see. Keep an eye on it. So we know there's orders here. Looks about 79. Hold on. About there. Need a break here. Across here like this, and then up again. Still like to hit these sell orders, really. You can do, really. And that's what we need, another leg up. Come on, give us another leg up. One leg, another leg. Up to this area where those sell orders are, that would be lovely. Lower high up here. You took a lower high up here, did you? Good on you, mate. Is it here or here? There's the lower. Well, so I'm assuming. Let's go with that one. So, where are you? Down here. So you're at 7 points. Did it go 16? Get below here. That'd be nice. You never know. You may get another leg down here. Wouldn't that be nice? Never really done runners. It's only sort of trade 1 to 2 contracts. I suppose you can. I'll break out the micro range. That one there, was it? Oh, okay, the second entry short there. Yeah. Yeah, so you got a bit more, haven't you? So I'm guessing your stop's probably around about here, isn't it? So you're in for nearly 9 points anyway, aren't you? With the pop, what did it go down for? 17. Mind you, the chance of catching that bottom slim to none, isn't it? So yeah, my only slight concern with that is we've got a bunch of orders here. So you may be right though; it's going down quite a bit, so it may not get back up here. Trouble is, when it's really a bearish day, sometimes it just never gets back to kind of where you want it to. 6, 7, 6, 6. So you're down here, are you? Just below this. Yeah. I'm too much of a coward to hold on to it. I mean, I only trade one. I trade one contract on these accounts, these Traderify accounts, and 2 on my Apex PAs. These cost a bit more money. These Traderify accounts. I think I paid about $330 each from $330. But another $600 in the accounts, and I'll be able to withdraw $9,000 off these. So that's more than pay for itself. But they're a really good deal, those Traderify accounts, especially when you come to a payment. You get to $3,000, you can withdraw 2, so it's a good deal. You've got the 90-10 split, but if you pay $350 for them, so you're paying about $1,700, you can get $9,000 back off them, which is really good. That is, so they're really worthwhile. I'm not a million miles away from. There they are there. So the lowest one's 2.2. The largest one's 4.7. So another $600 and those 2 will be ready, and they'll be kind of a couple of trades behind them. But when I get these to $3,000, I can withdraw $9,000 just off these ones. That's without me, with me Apex ones. And which is kind of why I was trading Apex 2 contracts. So it would work out by the time these hit 3,000, Apex would hit 4,100, so I could withdraw obviously $10,000 from Apex and $9,000 off these, which would boost my kind of yearly. So my plan is to try and hit, well, what am I, 33, 43, 53. If I can hit 60,000 this year compared to last year, that's much better. 26 I did last year, so the big plan is to hit 100,000 next year. That would be lovely. Got murdered on Tuesday. Yeah, it does happen, doesn't it? Well, the fact that you're still here plugging away, that says a lot. 'Tis very hard to walk away when you've had a bad day. It's very hard. I mean, I have my Guardian Angel trade just set, just in case the worst happened. I have it set to max $500 loss per account. I would consider that a bad day for me and nothing more. I also have my stop loss locked as well. So, if I ever decided to just get a bit funky one day for whatever reason, it won't let me move my stop loss only into profit. So it's good to have those little fail safes. I mean, not only that, if I happen to walk away from the charts, let's say I had an emergency and I had to run and I had an order in, at least if it did get hit, Guardian Angel Trader would take it out when it hits $500. So it's useful to have these little fail safes. You know, I mean, we all have things like fire blankets and extinguishers, don't we? Just for the worst to happen. You don't expect to ever use them, but it's good to have that little bit of a backup just in case. We all do stupid things sometimes. I've still had my fair share of stupid things. There is a failure there. The trouble is, for me, I can see orders at 77, 79. I'd like to get up to this area here. Now, whether it will, it's hard to say. TY, how you doing, bud? What trading terminal do you use? When you say terminal, are you on about Rhythmic or Tradeovate? Or the actual platform? The platform is Ninja Trader. I use Rhythmic on my Apex accounts and Tradeovate on my Traderify accounts, if that's what you mean. Okay, so a leg and a leg. If we can get up here somewhere and get a bearish bar, I wouldn't mind having a go at that because I wouldn't confuse this with a channel. It's too wide at the moment, so this would be much like a leg and a leg. So that leg would get us up to about here. Yeah, between, was thinking between Motorwave, never heard of that. Quantower, I've heard of. I know there are a few people who use Quantower. I think one of the good things about Quantower is you don't need a separate copy trader. It does it all for you. I did download Quantower maybe 6 months ago and just had a play. It does look complicated, but everything does until you start. That's why I like Ninja Trader. It's really intuitive and it's simple to use. There's not much, you know, with Quantower, there's stuff everywhere. And I just started using this. I've been using this for 4.5 years now. And you kind of get used to what you're used to. So I'm looking to hit these orders, which are, and if we can get a nice bearish bar around about 79, which is here, I'm just going to get an order ready just in case.
Order submitted.
Leg and a leg. Yeah, you can see those orders there. There's not much further up. There's more down below. So my guess is price is still going to come down, I think. Okay, we've hit those orders. Let's see what happens here. No guarantees, of course. We may test this line here. There's a bit more support. Four hours, yeah. You're more than a man than me, mate. I find the NQ scary. It just moves too quick for me. It kind of rattles and flickers. Sometimes it'll go for your order and not trigger it, and that frustrates me. Looking for buys on the 4 hour. Just move this out of the way in case it decides to do something funky. So it's testing this line here. You can see we've used that as support. Self-destruction problem. Yeah, we've all been through that, mate. When trading the past couple of months. Yeah, it does happen. It's just, I think all these little things we go through slowly adjust that mindset. You know, I've seen so many books, read so many books in so many videos, and you hear the same story. You need to change the mindset, but no one really tells you how to do it. The simple fact is, you don't necessarily need to do nothing specific. Just the fact of trading here and just doing it every day, you automatically slowly change. You can't do, you know, you get that fight or flight, that kind of nervous, excited feeling. You know, every time I used to walk to the charts, I used to get that tingle in my stomach. Those kind of nerves and excitement. And whenever you're doing something a bit scary, you always get that. But if you just continue to do it every day, it slowly goes. And then you start thinking with your brain, instead of your emotions taking over. I'm still not convinced. This moved down with a couple of attempts. I had this thought all along. 2 attempts to push higher, and then we come down again to these levels, the bottoms of this sort of bigger overall range that we're doing. Obviously, there's no guarantees, but I did delete that one, didn't I? Yeah. So let's just remove this. So depending on what we do, I'd expect it to happen somewhere around about there. Let's put something like that on. Yeah, I expect it to happen somewhere around there if we get a turn, maybe a bit lower. A leg and a leg. Okay, excuse me just a sec. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay. Okay, what's going on here? Depends how you look at this. Small channel break, new high, lower high. It's hard to say at the moment. I'm just not doing anything. If I take a short, it'll have pushed into here and start to push out. But there's no guarantees. But see, Thomas Way's got a wider channel. I tend to not do that. He's got something like that. It's a bit early for me there. Tend to keep things a bit tighter. Yeah, so Marco's just posted that. So he's kind of 1, 2, 3, kind of thinking about possibly the same thing. Oh no, tell a lie. He's just talking about triple test. My mistake. My mistake. Okay, so orders at 85 and some bang on 90. Nothing higher. Yeah, the way this is setting up like this, that's a move up with a move down, and this is a second move up. So far, this is relatively clear. I mean, they're a fair old move up, but not too much. So if I was looking at the fib tool, let's call this move down from there. At the moment, we've pushed right up, just close to that 50 level, and then pull back. So this is kind of working like it could to attempt. So if you get some real strong rejection at this level, then my gut feeling is we get a second leg down. So where's the lows? There's the lows. Just want to catch that top bar and come down a bit. So it's about there. So yeah, we're just a couple of ticks. Tell a lie, a little bit more than that. Maybe 3 or 4 ticks just off that 50% level. So whether it'll work or not, I don't know. But I like to pay attention. If we get something like this, I like to see how far it has gone. I mean, we certainly know the 50% pullback does play a strong part on a lot of these moves. That is a leg down with a correction and a leg down. We didn't quite get the measured move, but that's all right. So I've got this like that. Looks okay to me. We've got a break. Second chart is the same. I wouldn't generally start a larger channel there just yet, because where's this thing going to finish? It's just I tend to focus on the smaller stuff just at the top at the moment. So when it gets into this area, if it's going to turn down, this is probably where it'll do it. Wilson, that. So if you're a fan of the film, what's the film? What's the movie? Castaway. I know when we take him out for walks and we shout Wilson, you get some funny people grinning. Come on, get up a bit higher. So that bearish bar I wouldn't take. Too low if you're going to go short, but it has triggered, and my guess is it's going up. He's got real separation because I work from home. If I maybe go and have a soak in the bath at the night, he just literally howls outside the door. He cries outside the door. No matter where I go, he just follows you. Nip into the bathroom, whatever I do, he just follows me around. Okay, so that bearish bar, I'm guessing, is going to get stopped out, and that'll get us to this area. So if I zoom out there, it's very much a penguin type of a trade, that, isn't it? Move down, 2 clear attempts to push higher, and if it turns down and fails here, my guess, it'll go lower. But you can't, what I like about that, you can't confuse that as a channel. You can't do it. So it's clearly 2 legs, 1 attempt higher, followed by a strong drop and a second attempt higher. So they're trying to push this market up. So if I'm looking at Bookmap, the highest sort of stronger orders I can see are around about 90. There's orders down here at 70. There's orders down here at 55, right down here as well. So my guess is it's, yeah, it looked like a, based on what I can see, my gut was it was going to be bearish. So especially after it broke above these last days. But really, it's more or less just what it is. It's just ranging at the moment. So you kind of naturally think. So having a quick look at that zoomed out, leg down, correction, followed by another leg that will take us down to this area, right at the bottom of the range. We had a break out the top and then straight down. So that's where I believe prices are more likely going to head. Obviously, you can't just jump in randomly and hope they get down there, because there are no guarantees. Let me just make that a bit wider. Okay, so channel break new high. This doesn't work for me. It's possible. I don't think so. Because this looks like two legs. Definitely not a larger channel, these two. These are just two push-ups. I'd still like to get up to, well, 85. I can see orders here. There are a chunk of orders at 85. There are some at 90, but not as strong. Yeah, absolutely, Kenny. Yeah. It's annoying, isn't it? You feel like you've been watched somewhere, don't you? See, we think we're quite smart, don't we, sat here? We're not, are we? There's bigger, brighter people out there just making our life miserable. Yeah, I know. It is annoying, isn't it? Yeah, they know where entries are and stops are. I don't know how it all works. I'd love to really fully understand the mechanics of it all. Trouble is, when you're a retail trader, there are kind of big gaps in your knowledge, so you just kind of hear secondhand rumours, don't you? It's hard to know exactly how these. I'd love to, find something on YouTube that teaches us about the mechanics of how these markets work and how, how these big institutions exactly trade. You hear Max say they like to push it up there, they like to do that, but who? Computers? The algorithms? What? I don't understand it all. I wish I did. So, channel break, there is a failure there actually. Little second entry long, which triggered. The trouble is, with these orders up here, I'd like it to go a little higher before it comes back down. There's still a possibility this could push a bit higher, so there is a little second entry long. It's triggered. Is it coming down for that stop? I'm guessing it probably will. But you may get a higher low and it may push a bit higher. So for that reason, I'm just sitting tight here at the minute. There's always a possibility. See, putting a channel here like this is a bit early for me, but depending on how you look at it, there could be a second entry, a higher low there. So this is an area for me. It either could go up or it could go down. I'd like to see it go a little bit higher. Just to see if we get some sort of rejection up here and then come down, but it's looking a bit trappy here. I think it's a great confirmation just to go in. If you second guess, yeah, you have to. The trouble is, I'm kind of, how's the best way to describe myself? I'm kind of an all or nothing type of person. I like to do things the proper way. I know it sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? And sometimes when trades happen quick and you just jump in, I feel like I'm not giving it its due diligence and think about the process. But the trouble is, you don't have a lot of time to think in these markets. So sometimes I feel like I'm being a little bit too impulsive when it kind of comes with the territory. So sometimes I miss out on trades that way. But I'm aware of it, and I think that process of getting into trades will get more and more comfortable as the years go by. So you can only do what you got to do, really, can't you? So important. That's the failure. Sometimes that's, yeah. Yeah. So Yeah, see, there is a second entry long there, and there is a higher low. Now, this thing could just drop now and take out those. See, if I'm looking, I just keep an on book map at the moment. So what I'm seeing is there's a few orders here. There was some at 85. It's died off a bit now. There is still some, not a huge amount, at 90, which is here. But if it struggles to get up, it may just decide to drop. It's hard to say, isn't it? It really is. It's not straightforward trading. You know, if you jump in a bit premature, see, I'd like it to at least get up to here and then see what it wants to do. But you get in here, you may get stung. That's why this trade is obviously up there, because above all this is the ideal place to put a short. If you wanted to short this, really, you'd want to get above liquidity. You'd think, wouldn't you? And then this is looking like, see, if you look at this second leg up, we didn't quite get down. We're a few ticks short. So if we can get a few ticks above that, that'll get us to that 90. Then we got two nice legs up then. And then hopefully you take your shorts there. This thing then starts to go down. But, you know, some traders don't have the patience to get in and they get caught out early. Or some traders have got too much patience like me and they miss the trade. But it's hard to say, isn't it? Kind of a wider channel happening. I'm not so sure at the moment. I know Thomas Wade's got this. I think it's a bit early for me. It's possible, but because we had this first leg up with a big move down, and now we got a second leg up, my gut feeling is I don't think there's going to be enough longs in here because of this first one. Because my natural thought process at the moment with this move down and this what looks like a correction is to think about shorts. But where do I get in? Do I wait for it to get in here, or do I try and find something early? It's hard to say. I just kind of wait till it feels right. I do. The trouble is, sometimes when you see this second entry long and you jump in, this is when it decides it wants to come down, and we end up having something like that. It's very easy to think, let's go long up here, but when there may already be the start of a move down. So that's a possibility. My gut feeling is these are correction. It's more of a bearish day. So taking a long there, there's too late along there. It may trigger you and then drop. So I got mixed feelings here, really. Yeah, so someone took that trade. They got lucky there in the end. That's the thing. You're looking at something like this. Took a second entry long here, just got out at the tick, and then it came down, stopped them out. So it's hard assuming this thing is going up. So, yeah. So this to me looks like it may be working its way down. So this may trap a few. That's if it finishes bullish. So it could be something like that. Yeah, Dan says he's not sure if that uptrend is valid. I don't think it is. Okay, so two legs back. Let's see how this works. Okay, really big bearish bar. Trouble is, 14 ticks, it's not finished yet. Yeah, see, there's lots of people thinking still long. I think they're going to get caught out. Which doesn't work for me at the moment. I still wouldn't take that because we're right at these lows. I like some decent liquidity too. So maybe this second leg just didn't get up to where I thought it may do. This thing could just absolutely drop. Yeah, see, that's 18 ticks. That's way too much to take that, especially at the bottom of a channel. I have a feeling this thing's just going to drop. I hope it doesn't. I'd like an opportunity to get in. No, absolutely. No, I never do that. There are times where I just thought this is going, let's just jump in here, guarantee it comes in. No, I never do it. As we've made 2 attempts to push up, and this is clearly, to me, looks like it's failing, I can't see how buyers would want to get in here, leaving mainly just the sellers thinking this is going to go. So that's why I think it's a good enough reason for this to come strongly down now. We've made a bunch of attempts to go up, and it's clearly this is looking bearish now. So if you're a buyer here, you don't want any part of this market at the moment. So which lends me to believe this thing is going to come down a little bit quicker the second time, the second leg around. Probably once it starts to go, you just can't, no way in, unfortunately. I don't think it'll be long before we're at the bottom here. So if we get a second entry short, even with this small overshoot, I'd have a go at that. I wouldn't be too bothered with this. I'm looking at this one down. It would have to get to the EMA. I wouldn't just take something like this, as much as I think this thing's going to drop. I just wouldn't do it. So these orders higher up now are starting to fade. They're starting to get white and disappear. They're just starting to disappear, and they're getting stronger down below. You can see there it's about 74. Stronger. Down as much as 55 that I can see. So my guess is this thing is going to work down. So down as low as 55, which is this line down here. I've got some at 70, which is the lows, and 65 down here. So my guess is little pullback and then down again. Okay, things are flickering around here a little bit. Starting to flicker. Makes me nervous, that does. May get a second entry short yet. Could be a two-tiered channel down there. Come on, push up a bit.
Order submitted.
Okay, see if we can get a second entry here. I'm going to wait on this side, I think.
Order
I'm just going to
cancelled.
take a quick bathroom break. I'll be a second. Okay. Would have to be a lower high here. Trouble is, it's moved down a bit. It could still have a shoot up. Yeah, to be careful with that one. It just felt a little bit off there.
Order submitted.
This will be a lower high. Pushing up sideways, we could have another little push up here. It's hard to say. It's just concerning me a little bit.
Order
This.
cancelled.
It's a little bit congested. Yeah. So you've got to be a bit careful. We get leg up, sideways, leg up. It would take out that stop, which is triggered. That one hasn't, but that hidden second entry short has. Now, it may not work, but as we've pushed up and gone sideways, which you can clearly see, it's starting to look a little bit congested, so we may get a push up here, clear out this. Channel down. Could be a little triple test here. If we can push above there, possibly there. I'm going to get an order on this side. I prefer this
Order
chart.
submitted.
But I think getting in here may be a bit premature because you can clearly see it's starting to stack up now. That rings alarm bells. Leg and a leg. The lower high didn't trigger anyway. That tells me just to sit tight. If we can't get a decent move here, we may get a good push down then. Bart, how you doing, my friend? Hmm. I'm just a little bit cautious here because of this bar there. I'd have preferred it to push higher. Push up, sideways, push up. Good on you, mate. It's not been a terrible day, actually. I ummed and ahed about trading and I left it in the end. And it did work, so it's not been a terrible day, actually. It's a bit congested here, so I'd like to see it push above that bar there. Same again, it's still a bit... It may come down from there. You could argue a triple test. Trouble is, because it's still a bit sideways here, it may just have another little go. Yeah, I was hoping it would take out that one there. See, we'll often do this. Push up, go sideways and push up. And that's my problem. Because it's still sideways. That just didn't look strong enough for me. It's gone down about so many ticks, and now this thing's pushing up. You can bet your bottom dollar there'll be stops above there and there. So how
Order
far did it go
cancelled.
down? So if you'd have took it a tick below there, let's call it about there, you'd have had a point because it's got to push through, and all of a sudden it's pulling back now. Now, is it really going to get that far up and not pop above there? As we know, it'll often do that, up, across, and up. We fell a bit short of this for me for these two legs up, so we may have another, another quick push up. So if you got into that short, then you take anything bar a point, you're going to get stopped out, I think. Will it get above there? I'm guessing it probably will. Started scratching my can last month. Yeah. It may hold, but it's had a little double top there, but because we pushed up into this range, quite often we'll push out the top of it. In fact, I may even take that up a bit now. Trouble is, because we've had this move down. There's another. Trouble is, if you get into that one, I just think this is too congested to trade just at the moment. You've got to be a bit careful because the tendency is to look for shorts, but I think it will go down, but I think it may just pop out the top before it does. It's hard to say. You never know. Sometimes things might, but I won't be surprised if we had something like that. Somewhere along those lines, quick pop up, clear out any liquidity. I don't think it'll get as high as that. But if you did take there, well, you're still in with the skin of your teeth. So you may say triple test. The trouble is your signal bar is about 3 ticks before the low, so it's not something I'd want to take. It's just super risky here. I saw someone who just got in there. If this pushes up, there's going to be one hell of a lot of stops above there. Excuse me. If it gets below that bar there, it may drop. I could adjust this a touch to there. Look okay. Okay, it's got below there. That might find it easier now. So if you did take that one, it worked. Just trouble is, we had another bearish bar, more or less the same as that one, certainly the same place, but the fact that it worked up there and very nearly stopped that out made me nervous. And it is a bit congested, really. You want that type of a thing, don't you? A breakout that fails. I don't want to be going short in 2 ticks before the bottom of this little range, but I mean, sometimes that's the straw that breaks the camel's back, and it looks like it is. You know, my thought process has been this is coming down for a while now. We've had 2 legs up. Second leg didn't get quite the way up, and then we had that big drop, little pullback, and then same again. So my gut feeling is this is going to come down the lows and work down for a second leg. There'll be some profit taken down here, so we may get a little pullback. Yeah, see, Dan's saying would rather have a failed breakout. That's what I was looking for. It's too risky when it's like that, especially when it goes sideways. As I say, often we'll push up and drop out the top, clear out liquidity, give us a bearish bar, and the thing will rocket down. It's congested to hell, that, and even taking those 2 trades, they're about 4 ticks from the bottom, if that. That's certainly less. You just never know whether it's going to decide to do that. Leg up, clear all this out, take your stops out, and then go in the direction. So once it got below that bull bar, then for me it was going to get easier, and it did. That's just one of those things, isn't it? Okay, some profit taken down here, so this is pulling back a little bit. How far is it going to go? Okay, this 2-tiered channel's fitting lovely. It's fitting really nice along that midline, nice at the bottom. So we need a little break from this. What I used to do was put sell orders below there, because I believed if it did get below there, it was going to drop. see, there's always that possibility. So we've had a break, 2 attempts ago. It may go the other way. Yeah, you too, bud. Take care, Bart. We've tested these lows 3 times now, so it's always possible it could shoot up. But just having a quick look at Bookmap, the strongest orders for me are down here. There is some right up here. It's hard to say, really, isn't it? When it comes to strip clubs. Don't get many of them over it, really. If we did, I probably wouldn't be here now. I went to one in, where was it? It was in Palmer, near Magaluf, just round the bend from Magaluf. There was a big square, and I went with a friend. I think it was my birthday. It was my 35th birthday or something like that. 38th, 40th, maybe my 40th. We went, there was a Coyote Ugly bar, and I remember laying on the bar in just me jeans. No, in just a pair of shorts, laying on the bar, getting some sort of whiskey or something poured in my mouth out of a stiletto. And I remember going in this strip bar. I'd never been in one before. And I remember when we got back to the UK, my credit card had £187 spent in there. So I obviously had a good time. I remember having a few dance. As I said, I never had them. You don't get a lot in the UK. But it was a good night. I think we crawled in. We got out of the taxi about 6 o'clock in the morning. Well, that was a good night, that was. A friend of mine ended up, there was one of those bucking Broncos. And my friend, he fits conservatories. And he is super strong. He's got the biggest calf you've ever seen in your life. And I remember him going on this bucking Bronco and me saying to the guy, I bet you can't get this guy off. And he flicked a switch and this bull span round and my mate flew through the air 20 feet and landed on a load of tables and cracked 2 of his ribs. So he couldn't sunbathe on his front for the rest of the holiday. So he went home with a lovely brown front, but a white back. It was a good night, actually, that was. He was proper sore. His wife was not happy with me. That's quite a long stream today. Okay. Trouble is, when this has got to the lows, you've got to give this little bit of space. I just wouldn't assume and jump in there because after this big move down and this break, we have had 2 attempts to go lower. So there's always the possibility it could do the complete opposite that I thought. So channel with a break. New high, testing this area again. On there, blue eyes, black heart. Okay, channel break, new high, testing these highs again. So if we manage to get a lower high, I probably would have a go at that. I actually like that channel, so I think that channel's valid. But as we hit that bottom, I wouldn't be surprised if we had a break. Now, whether it's going to come down or not remains to be seen. But it is finding resistance where I expected it to. Whether that holds it back. Okay, see if we get a lower high. Channel break, new high. Still got to be a little careful here because we may get a leg up, trap a load of shorts, and then make a second leg up. Okay, unfortunately, no lower high. It's just been a bit finicky, this is. Not really much you can trade here. I was tempted with the failure. Trouble is, it was right at those lows. You've got to be careful. Okay, so down we come, as expected. So, nice to get a retest of this before it drops again. Okay, so what happens here? Okay, there is a second entry short, possibly there. It's just too far from here, really. So, so there are orders at 65 down here. So my guess is this is going to come down. There is a relative, there is a bullish bar and a higher low here. I wouldn't expect that to work. So we're testing this area here. I still want it to get to that EMA. It's very tempting to take that. It is a second entry short. It's tested the bottom of this line. Very tempting. It's just not quite. It's not quite high enough. It's just a bit too far for that EMA for me. I not only that, I think it went down enough. So went down. So tick below. So you'd have got 2 points out of that so far. We can get a second leg. I may have just missed the boat here, but not a huge amount of room to the lows. It's quite low down. Come on, have a little push back up. Once we get out that bottom, it'll get easier. What do you do? Okay, there is a failure there. Second entry long. I wouldn't be thinking about going long here.
Order
My gut
submitted.
feeling this is coming down. Trouble is a little bit congested there. It needs to push higher for me. Just a little bit higher. Hmm. Oh, excuse me. Wait a second. Okay, sorry about that. To finish in a sec. I've had my orders. See if we get lower high here or something. All the orders I can see are down here. 65, 62, 60. So channel, maybe a break, new high. We've got to get a lower high or something here. There's a lower high, but it's a bit congested here. For me, it needs to push up a little bit. A little bit further. It's just congested now. It needs to go a bit higher. So there is a lower the high there, but I just don't like it. That looks a little bit premature to me. We may have a channel and a leg and a leg. It's just a bit congested to get in there, I think. Okay, we may get a long failure. Second entry longs triggered. Not too bad. flicking around a little bit. I don't like that. No, I'm just going to leave this. Something doesn't feel right about this. Channel with a break, new low. It's just a bit congested, this. I wouldn't be surprised if this just does pop up and take this out. It may not, but it's just a little bit congested here. If it gets below there, it'll get a bit easier. It's starting to go. Don't like what I'm seeing here. Okay, I think I'm done for today, folks. I've been going a fair amount of time, 3 hours 45 on stream and an hour off. So I'm going to leave you guys to it. So best of luck. If you get a move, failing that, have a great evening. And I'll cancel that. I'll see you guys
Order
tomorrow,
canceled.
Friday, and we'll do it all again. Have a great evening. Stay safe, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Bye for now.